everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. This is a video series where Lori and I are taking the time to play through our library 2 or 3 games at a time and then making a video. We want to do that so that we can show you the games all set up so you can get an idea about what is in the box, and then I can tell you how to play the game in a little more detail. We seem like a really groovy idea because that's the only kind of ideas we have, groovy, because we're groovy people. But we hope you enjoy this series, and I'm always telling you that we play our library, and that's what I wanted to show you and why I wanted to make this video series. So I hope you enjoy it. Hey everybody, welcome to Bones Collector, and today I'm going to talk about a game that Lori and I brought home from Dice Tower Con East, and the game is called Star Trek Expeditions, a cooperative game by Reiner Knizia. Now this game came out in 2011, and it's from 1 to 4 players, so it has a solo mode and is variable player powers on the characters that you're going to play. And I said it's a cooperative game, so we were interested in that, and Lori found this and she said, hey, you want to try this? And I don't know, but then I saw Reiner Knizia's name and I said, yeah, let's try it, because this is an Ameritrash style game. And if you watch this channel, you know I dislike the mechanics in Ameritrash games. They just feel like they don't flow for me. But when Laura showed this to me, and she says, only $15, try it, you big sissy. So I said, okay.
And it's a space game.
And it's a space, which I dislike. I said, all right, 15 bucks, heck, let's try it. So we got the game and brought it home, and I was pretty excited to play it, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to play it. And I'll just tell you a little bit about the components of the game, and then I'll start talking about the game itself. But you got these nice thick mission tiles. I mean, these things are nice thick cardboard. You got a beautiful board. I love this board because lately I've had games that the board has just been terrible. You know, too thin, it doesn't lay flat, and I just can't stand that. WizKids did a nice job with a nice board in this game. You have these wonderful linen captain's log cards that mark these locations on the board. These discovery tokens are thick. The major discovery tokens are thick. You have a tech track board over here. I can't think of what the heck the name of it is, but you got 3 markers on it, and you're going to move yourself up on those tracks, and those will be points at the end of the game because you're trying to score on this game, and it has a chart on the back to tell you if you're a wimp or if you're a great spaceman or whatever. It doesn't say that, but it's something like that. You know, it has a graph on the back that's going to tell you how you did. And then you have a character card that goes with the 4 characters in the game that come with the game. It comes with player aids for the players. I mean, and this game we got at 15 bucks. It was all sleeved and just really nice. And it has 3 dice. They're nothing special. They're on the small side, but they get the job done. Okay, the HeroClix themselves. This is a HeroClix game. If you guys haven't seen that before, that's just, well, I'm going to back up again. I forgot to tell you about this. The insert in the game box holds everything very neatly. Nice in there. Just put it all away in the spots where it belongs, and I like that. That way when you go to set the game up, it just looks so nice, and you just put it on the table very quickly. So that's pretty cool. But this is a HeroClix game. And it says HeroClix right on under WizKids here on the box. And for those of you who don't know what HeroClix are, that's these little characters, and they have a base on them that twists and changes the value of different stats relating to those characters. So I like that. That's pretty cool. And the other thing I love about HeroClix, they come painted. If she had taken the lid off this box it was at a flea market, and showed me that, and it was little gray people, I'd be like, no, I'm not playing gray people. It's just the way I am. So I love that those are painted, and you get a sweet mini of the Klingon warship and the USS Enterprise. Nice looking. They're painted, just wonderful. Got you know, like the Enterprise has the USS Enterprise on it. So anyway, you get a nice little mini of the USS Enterprise, and it has the actual number of the ship on there. It says USS Enterprise. Has little parts of it painted in little detail, and the windows are painted on the side of the ship. Really, really cool. I love it. And card stock is wonderful. I told you about the location cards are linen. Now all these cards came sleeve. They are super nice. They're linen cards. This is a whole deck of energized cards, they're called, and you draw those during the game to give you help. Different crew members. You can get things that mitigate the bad luck you have when you roll dice, which happens in this game, but there's enough help to make this game balanced, I guess, is the important thing, because if it's unbalanced, you're never going to win. Or a roll of the dice will cost you the game. It doesn't happen here. You can mitigate a lot of that bad luck with these energized cards, and there's a lot of them, but once the deck runs out, they're gone. You don't reshuffle them or anything like that. A lot of them are one-time use. A lot of them are crew members that you're going to keep throughout the game unless somebody tells you to murder them, which happens. And then you have a deck of Stardate cards, and this is the deck that's going to torment you. And you take one of these at the beginning of every turn, and on the card itself, it tells you things you need to do before you start taking your turn as a character. And it will tell you, when you ever see this black circle, it tells you to move this Stardate marker down this Stardate track, and if that marker gets all the way down to here, all players lose. You got to win the game before it gets there. That's the timer. And then also, if this Klingon ship destroys the Enterprise, all players lose. So you're keeping an eye on that as well as doing all of this. And that's kind of a nice juggling act. I really enjoy that. The thing that you have to understand in this game is that Klingon warship is a heck of a lot stronger than the Enterprise. So you're really going to have to use your head when you're doing battle. We managed to actually destroy that ship in the second game, but we just got lucky in a few places and was able to do that. But you keep drawing these at the beginning of each turn. It has all these horrible things you got to do. Klingon battle cruiser attacks, and that happens a lot. That Klingon ship's coming after you, and it's a lot stronger. It's got like 13 shield, and our shield is like 10, and it has 13 shield for like 4 places on its hero clicks thing. So it takes a while to get it down. Klingon attacks. Klingon battle cruiser attacks. I mean, it just beats the crap out of you. Klingon battle cruiser attack. Klingon battle cruiser attacks. Move the Stardate marker down twice. No beaming this turn, so you can't beam from the ship down onto the planet or the planet back up to the ship. And you have to be in the ship to attack the Klingon warbird, and you have to be on the ship to go to sick bay, and you have to take certain tokens. Some of these tokens, if you want to use them, like add to your weapons or add to your shields on the ship, you have to grab them down here, then beam aboard the Enterprise and take them back there. But anyways, yeah, you just keep drawing these cards. And on the cards, there's 3 bands on here, red, yellow, and blue. And the red one is the hard game, so you do red, yellow, and blue. If you're doing the medium game, you do yellow and blue. And if you're doing the easy game, you just do the blue. The blue would be too easy for most people who play board games. But the medium, and we just got done playing it twice, and we played it in 2 different ways. The first time we played it on medium, we each played 2 characters, and that was pretty confusing and complicated. For us, yeah. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't see that being an advantage for anybody. It played well at 4. I mean, that's what I appreciate about it. You know, we played, that's in a sense playing it at 4 players, and it played well. It scales well, this game. And then we played it at 2 players, and I really enjoyed that too. Did you?
Yeah, and we did better at 2 players.
Yeah, and we scored more points at 2 players because tracking 2 characters, your head gets a little muddled, and there's a lot to think about. So that's a Stardate deck. And then, as you can see, you put down these locations on the board, and you're simply going to beam to the planet, and you're going to start turning these over. And that costs you action. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. On these cards, one thing very important I forgot to tell you is at the top of the card where you see this big number, that's how many actions that character takes. So if I drew this off the top of the deck, before my turn, it says Klingon battlecruiser attacks. I resolve that, and then I get to take those 4 actions. Okay, so that's the most important thing. So it's an action type of system where you're going to come down to the planet, come down here, turn over these location cards, and as you're turning them over, it has a little bit of story on the card, which I like because I don't like reading a book in the game. And so I enjoy that the story of this game is on the cards. And it has some really cool stuff on it, don't you think? Some really interesting things.
Well, especially if you like Star Trek,
Yeah.
it follows along with the Star Trek theme, and you can see Kirk and Uhura doing the things the cards say.
I
And
just love it. And then for an action, you can pick up these cookies or tokens that are on the location cards, and they're little helps that help you discard for all Enterprise weapons +1, usable anywhere. Things like that. What else we got on here? And this one here has a picture of a little gray figure of the Enterprise on there, and those are the ones, to use them, you have to take them back up to the ship. So you got to beam back up to the ship and take them up there. And then as you are defeating these locations, like I say, you turn these over, and once it's defeated, it comes off the board, and then you move your figures around and start turning these over, and 9 of them are locations that have to do with these mission decks. And once you turn one of those up, this says location card for the Rebels, then you're going to take this first token and put it on that site, and then when you defeat that, it will tell you which is the next card that you're going to fight. And you have to finish all 3 of these decks, all 3 of these mission decks. You're not going to do every one of the mission cards in here. It will tell you which one to go to. It starts out with mission 1, and then it has a 2A and a 2B, and then it has a 3A, B, and C, and D. And sometimes it'll tell you after you finish if you really destroy the 2A card by a bunch, it'll say, well, go directly to 3D. So you're only going to do 3 in each one of these decks. And it won't be the same 3 every time. So this game's different every time you play it, and that's pretty cool. Not to mention, these locations that you're going to go to are laid out here randomly, and they're going to be different. So I was kind of surprised that I liked it a lot. We like playing cooperatively once in a while, but co-op games have that danger of being a situation where one person wants to tell everybody else what to do. You have to kind of fight the urge to do that. And if you can do that, this is a really fun co-op game. It's by a wonderful board game designer, and I enjoyed playing it, and we're going to hang on to it for a while. Yeah, we enjoyed it. I want to do it again. I want to do it on hard this time and see how we do. Okay? Because you shouldn't win a cooperative game every time. A game like this, if you can get it at that 50-50, 50 win, 50 loss, I kind of like that balance. And that's got to be pretty hard to do for a board game designer. Rana Kanisi is one of the best in the world, and he's done it here. So you're going to win half the time. Even on hard, I think you're going to win half the time, and you're going to lose half the time. You're going to lose this game because it's going to attack you. That Klingon warbird, man, that thing is nasty, and it comes at you constantly. I mean, it's so harassing. I think I'm going to go in the bedroom and cry now because it just beat us. It beat on us the whole game. It was hard to get used to.
And there's more of those captain's log cards, so you're not using the same ones every time.
Oh yeah, how many more was there?
I think there's 10 in the box.
10 more?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 10 more of these captain's log location cards than you're using in the game. So again, you got a lot of variability, a lot of variety.
6 each game.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. And that's really all you're doing in this game. I want to tell you one thing though. Lori went through and we did have a little bit of problem. You're picking up these and spinning the hero clicks and stuff.
And we have old eyes and the numbers are tiny.
Yeah, so Lori printed out these things off Board Game Geek, and it had one for especially the Enterprise and the Klingon ship. Yeah, because I have this board pulled down now, but when we played it, it was pushed way up, and we sat on the same side of the table, and we needed a play area. So the board was quite a ways away from us, which made these ships quite a ways away. We had to stand up to get them to adjust the hero clicks. So we made these things, put paper clips on them. They're laminated, and then you just move the paper clip up and down. You don't have to use the hero clicks. But I mean, we're old. I'm not saying that that's a bad system by any means. It's a great system, and young people wouldn't have a problem whatsoever. We're 66 and we like to sit.
Even with our glasses, those numbers are tiny.
Yeah. I can read them. I can read them okay. I just didn't want to get up and grab the ship. No, not again. Because it attacks you constantly. So I said, well, maybe there's got to be something on board game, and there was. And we're thankful for that. So yeah, we printed those out, and then we actually printed some out for all the characters, and we caught ourselves just doing this, didn't we? And
it was easier than turning the hero clicks.
Turning the hero clicks, but
the hero clicks is still cool. It's a cool system.
And they're, like I say, they're all painted, and it comes with 4 characters. You have Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, Bones, and Uhura, and then in the box, the $15 box that we bought, were 3 more. There was an expansion, and this is Scotty, Montgomery Scott, and Chekhov, and Sulu. So all painted HeroClix. I mean, that was a great deal. I mean, I got to tell you, there's nothing like going to a convention. And I tell you guys all the time, if you can find time to get to a convention, they're all over the United States. Find one that's close to you and go to that convention's flea market. And this is the type of thing you'll find. I found another, did we buy 3?
Bought 3 games.
3 games at the flea market. So I've said, when we walked in, I'm not going to the flea market. And then I said, hey, you want to go to the flea market? So we went to the flea market, and I said, I'm not buying anything. I just want to go in and look. Yeah, right. So I found 3 little items in there that we picked up, and this is one of them. And I'll be talking about the other 2 in future videos, but we enjoyed this game. I enjoyed it. It's challenging as can be. I can't imagine what it's going to be like on difficult. It's going to be frustrating at times. And there was one other thing. When it takes a while to understand how to score these crew cards that have colors and keywords on them. You have to know the keywords and what they do as far as adding to your ability to finish one of these cards, one of these locations. Like that one's 19 science. And so you're going to have to, and it has analysis keyword on it, and it has a keyword dilithium samples. So you have to know that that's going to add to your ability to defeat that 19 science. So if you have those cards, first of all blue cards are what you're interested in because it's science. And then science on your character, the blue on your HeroClix, the blue column is science. So you have to know a little bit. I got a little frustrated with that. And if you can figure that out, you've got this game whipped, and it's a fun time. It is a good time, and we're going to, like I say, hang on to it for quite a while.
Took us about an hour and 15 minutes.
Hour and 15 minutes, second time.
The second time.
It took a little longer, I think, the first time.
Well, we were interrupted. We played 4 characters.
Yeah, and we were interrupted quite often, and then we had
we did have some interruptions.
So we left the game sit, and we had to go do something. We came back and took the game up
the first time
again.
we really couldn't count. So.
But
I think it could be done in an hour or less.
It's an hour-long game.
Now that we know
if you're
how
good
to play.
at it, it's an hour-long game. And I like the theme because I love Star Trek. I grew up in the '60s, and I watched the original series as it aired, and we were so excited. That's back in the days when you had to be in front of the TV at 7:30 or 8 o'clock on Friday or Tuesday or whenever Star Trek was on. You had to tell all your friends, leave in the middle of the baseball game. I gotta get home, watch Star Trek. See ya. I mean, we were all doing that, and so I love the series. But this series, these guys that did the movie. When I first went to the first Star Trek movie, what was it called? I can't even think of it.
Just Star Trek with the original people?
Not this.
Oh, that one.
I can't remember the name of the Star Trek movie, but I had so many reservations because I loved Star Trek so much. I love William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy and all of the cast of characters that were in that original series. And then it went to Generations. Is that what it's called?
Next Generation.
Was it Next Generation?
Mm-hmm.
Next Generation with Jean-Luc Picard and those guys. And I like them too. But man, when I went to watch this movie, I thought, well, they're just going to destroy the whole series. They're going to overdo it. It's going to be awful. They couldn't have picked a more talented group of individuals to play these characters.
It was just called Star Trek.
Star Trek. Oh, just when I came out of we went to the theater and watched it, and I told Laura, I cannot believe it. That is amazing. This catapulted Star Trek over Star Wars for me, and I love Star Wars. Laura and I were there at the debut of Star Wars, the midnight showing. And I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I just felt like they kind of got less exciting as the years went by, and this got better. So, and I like that. I love the art on the front of this. Folks, I like this game. It's, I think, only ranked like a 6.5 on Board Game Geek. I don't know what people are playing. This game is super good, man. This is an excellent game. I mean, it's like I would rate this game, for Ameritrash, which I don't like. I admit it. I'm a basher of those types of games. This is a good one. I love the theme, and once you pick it up, it's a real big challenge, and I would give this game probably an 8.5. A solid 8.5, because it's not that complex. This one is very well done. Reiner Knizia, again, one of the best board game designers in the world. I love it, and I hope you guys get a chance to play it. Play it first before you buy it. And if you can find it for 15 bucks, yay for you! Yeah, so I really enjoy it, and I don't have much more to say about it. Do you have anything you want to add?
I like having a co-op game that's not like Pandemic.
Yeah.
It's different.
Well, and Reiner Knizia did Lord of the Rings back in the day.
Yeah, we have that one
we
as
still
well.
have that, and that's a challenge. And I like the theme of that game. I love Lord of the Rings. The one we have is wonderful, and we enjoy playing it by the same designer. And again, I try to tell you guys, if you know of a good board game designer, check out his other work. Because if you like a game that guy designed, go look for his other games. You know, that's the way this business works. And yeah, this was a big hit for us, wasn't it?
Yes.
It wasn't a miss. You know, you can hit and you can miss in a flea market.
I liked it more than I thought I would.
It was a big hit, and again, everything about it, because of the production, the theme. I mean, it was this well done. The board's pretty. I love the big, thick mission tile decks, and everything about it I like. Yeah, I'll try and play it on hard and tell you guys what I did. See how we did, and I'm sure we're going to lose a few times again.
Yep.
But that's the way a good co-op is going to beat you. It's going to beat you half the time. So yeah. All right, that's it. Star Trek Expeditions. Make it so. Hey everybody, welcome to Bones Collector, and today we're going to talk about Legends of Andor. Legends of Andor came out in 2012, so it's 10 years old, believe it or not. And it's a 2 to 4 player game developed by Michael Menzel, and he's one of the best board game artists around. He had a reputation before designing Legends of Andor of being a great artist, so he decided to get his feet wet, and this was his first title that he published, and it's a good one, and it won the Kenner Spiel de Jaros in 2013, deservedly so. It's a wonderful game, but let's talk a little bit about, before I get started, first of all, I haven't played this game in 5 years. We bought this game 5 years ago and played through it and sold it, and then we were at the convention just last week at the Dice Tower East, and somebody was selling a copy for 15 bucks, so I said, hey, I'll take it. You know, I'll take that, go home and play with it some more. So we're going to play through it again. The game itself is really, really nice as far as how it was published and the components and so forth. It has a really beautiful board, which you expect from Michael Menzel. The artwork on the board is fantastic, and the board is a little bit large for my taste, but it's acceptable in this particular situation because it really takes you into the world of Andor, and you need that in these types of games. This is an adventure, cooperative game, area movement, dice rolling, your scenario, mission, and campaign style with each person has a different character. You have variable player powers, and the winning condition is to get your legend completed before this narrator gets to the end tile on this board, and that's what you have to do every time you play a legend. Now it has standees for the heroes and the monsters. It has this cool dragon. That guy's pretty sweet. I kind of like that. And it has a standee for the prince and the witch, and I like standees. I like them better than gray globs of plastic. But I could see a game like this really going up a notch if they used acrylic figures in these standee stands. And I don't know if you've ever seen those acrylic type of figurines, but they're flat like this standee cardboard, but they're clear with the picture imprinted on the side. It must be a screen printed on it. And then I think it was in Captain is Dead game, which came out maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It's 4 or 5 years old. And then I just saw it recently in Picture Perfect, which is a new game. It looks pretty cute, by the way, but it has all these acrylic figures, and I really like that. These standees are better than minis for me, and I would really like to see them take it up a notch with some acrylic standee figures, and I think a lot of board games would benefit from that. The dice are small and wooden. I mean, they suffice, and each character has a different number of dice, and like the wizard only has 1 die, a purple die, and Lori was the archer, and you can earn up to 5 dice on her character. I use up to 3 for yellow. I was the dwarf, and he can only gain up to 3 dice. So those are wooden and they're small, but it's not a problem whatsoever. And then you also have these bigger wooden dice that you can earn, and they have larger numbers on them, and they've got, what's the number, 6, 10, 8, and 12. So when you're doing battle, if you can earn one of these big dice and you go to battle, that's pretty nice, because it goes up to 12. And Lori rolled a 12 twice while we were playing this game, and that really came in handy, because sometimes you have to defeat some pretty tough monsters in this game, and that really helps you out quite a bit. You have different types of monsters in these standees. I think it was Gores and Skrulls, and what was that dog-looking thing called?
I don't remember, but there was trolls.
I can't even remember, man. It's crazy. Oh, the Wardrax.
The Wardrax.
Trolls and Wardrax, yeah.
Wardrax were speedy.
Yeah. And there's a shield dwarves and a dark mage that you're going to use in this game. And, I mean, there's a ton of content in here. The box itself, it's okay. Okay, certainly needs more. But I tell you what, this box is heavy because it's full of good stuff. It's really got a lot of stuff in it. You have, let's talk about this a little bit. You have a whole stack of legend cards, and there's 5 legends in here that you can play your way through, and that's a ton of content, you guys, a ton. And it has a beginning legend that helps teach you the game, and that was a terrific idea. That way, when you're done playing that introductory scenario, you know how to play the game. And it's hard. I mean, the beginner scenario is pretty difficult to win. So it teaches you right away that you're going to have to work together to complete the tasks that they give you and defeat the monsters and so forth, because you have so much to do in this game depending on the legend. And here's some of the things you're going to do in this game. They have creature tokens that may be on the legend track. And of course, this all depends on the legend you're playing. There's a monster on this tower. We had to defeat a Skrull. It sits on this tower. That was one of the game end conditions. We had to defeat that, drag a medicinal herb back to the castle to make the king well again, because he was sick, and then defend the castle. And you're always defending the castle is in every legend. And these monsters are going to move towards that castle, so it's a tower defense type of thing, mechanism that you're going to be working with, besides doing these other tasks that the game asks you to complete. And these monsters in this game, it works a different way. Beginning of every round, they're going to move, and the way they move is if one of the, if you haven't played Legends of Andorra, this is going to help you. If you've played it, you're bored right now. But this is kind of cool because they're going to leapfrog each other, and they get up to the castle faster because of that. If there's something in their space, they leapfrog that space. They don't go into that space. So they move quicker. And you have to plot and plan every turn to see how many of those guys. As you can see, I hope this is on camera, we had 4 monsters that had overrun the castle. The 5th one would have beaten us. We would have lost the game. This is how close we were. These guys were ready to come into that castle. But we managed to finish this legend right before that happened. And right before this narrator, that's called the narrator, reached that end token. You're going to think and work hard in this game. That's a fact. This game is one that it's great game design, has great balance, and you're going to lose this game once in a while. And I'm looking forward to that. That's going to happen. But some of I told you about the monster of the tower. There's a witch in the game, and you're going to have to look for her fog token. And I mean, you're trying to do this with as minimum amount of movement as you possibly can. This is a Euro-style adventure fantasy game, and man, I'm telling you, moving around this map is expensive. You're going to use this hour tracker up here, and each one of you got 7 hours, and each time you move one space, it's 1 hour. So I mean, it's expensive to move, expensive. And then you have some overtime hours you can use also. It costs you willpower points on your player board. But man, this game you have to talk to each other and plan for who's going to move where. I'm going to meet you in that space over there. I'm going to move that space over there. Then I'm not going to do battle until you get there. So you're going to have to meet me over there. And then when at the end of beginning of the day, when the monsters move, that monster will move into our space because we see where they're going and how they're going to jump. And when he jumps in that space, then we're going to take our turn and we're going to slaughter him. and you have to do that. You have to plan like that in this game, or the game will beat you. And it's we just got done doing 2 legends, and my mind is just cooked. Then there's fate cards that are in the game, and if your legend gives you fate cards, they have to be completed before a certain point in the game, or you've lost the game. You may have a fate card that says you have to complete this fate card before the narrator reaches Legend D. Well, you better concentrate on getting it done because the narrator is going to be on Legend D pretty fast. And every time you kill a monster, the narrator moves. So you don't want to kill monsters very often. You want to do it only when it's necessary because you need that narrator to slow down on that track. So every time you defeat a monster, that narrator is going to move. And that can get really dicey because again, you have to plan. You're like, oh my gosh, we don't want to battle that monster. And the only time you really do is when you have to over here at the castle, stop them from going in the castle, and then you find yourself all the way over here and you have a task that's all the way over here. Now how are you going to get over there? I mean, it's rough. You're really planning hard. Then also there's parchments we had to deliver to the castle. There's dark magic cards that exist in the game, but the game helps you. You know, it's like there's so much that's going against you. These event cards can be good or bad. There's also some what are those cards called? Let me see.
Oh, I can't remember.
Let me see. Secret Sea event cards. Those are just about all bad. And there's 11 silver event cards, 34 golden event cards. Oh my gosh. I mean, there's just so much going on in this game, and it's punishing. Some of those cards can be ridiculous. But the game helps you a little bit. And like some of these legends have, you see these green cards, those are easier than the regular card. So there's an A3 for Legend 2, and there's an A3 regular card for Legend 2. If you want things to be a little easier, you pick that green card, which we did. Every chance we got,
yes, we did.
We took that green card. And same here. There's one, this is still Legend 2. There's a C1 and a C1 if you want the easier card. And sometimes it might be just one monster less, something a little bit, just a little bit of help to give you a leg up and hopefully get you to where you think you can make a nice plan to finish the game in a positive fashion. And then there's the Prince Thorold that can help you battle monsters. He's got a +4, the Prince does, and when he's on the board, I mean, he comes onto the board, and then you take this X and you put it on the legend track, and you've got 4 spaces of the narrator's going to move. When that narrator gets on that space and hits that X, Prince Thorold comes off the board. So you have to use him while he's on there because he's +4. And you're never going to be overpowered in this game. You're going to be just barely getting by. Your heroes are going to have not just enough strength to team up with you to defeat monsters. Once in a while you can beat one by yourself, but you're never going to be super strong in this game where you're just going to go around and plow some of these monsters over with. It just isn't going to happen. And you don't want to do it anyways because it moves the narrator and you end up ending the game sooner than you want to because you haven't finished your tasks. So you have to think about that all the time. Also, this game gives you the opportunity to adjust the difficulty. You have a letter N tile that's separate from the rest of these on here. Heck, you could move that down as far as you wanted. Say, yeah, we think we're so good, we're going to move this down to L. So now, you don't have as much time. And I can't imagine anybody doing that. Because, I mean, the 2 legends we played, we had very little room for error. I mean, very little. And we were just about to get overwhelmed at the castle. The next turn, the next day, Lori had already gone back to the sunrise box, which is what you do when you pass for the day, and I only had 2 spaces left before I went into overtime, and I would go back to the sunrise box, and then these monsters would have moved and overtaken the castle, and we would have lost. So we had to finish our tasks this day, and so and we sat and talked and planned, and we found a way to get it done. Oh man, it's pretty rough. I mean, there's a lot in here. It's a challenging game. It's absolutely phenomenal, but it's one of the better co-ops out there. We've played quite a few of them, and in this video set, we did the co-op Star Trek Expeditions, and I liked that game too. This one, gosh, I don't know.
That was pretty punishing too, but
Yeah.
This one was rough.
This one was really hard. I mean, you have this monster chart down here for how they are going to, what their willpower is worth, their strength is worth, and tells you how many dice they get to roll according to their willpower. I mean, the game is just really designed well. It's a fantastic game.
It walks you through it.
Yeah. I mean, in that introductory scenario is worth it. It's fantastic. You get a separate booklet for the quick start guide, and it's going to walk you through and tell you how to use that introductory legend and play that, so that when you're done, you know how to play the game. And it has a reference manual for the full rule set. And it's not that many rules.
Yeah.
You know, not that
The
many.
rules are on the cards that you read.
Yeah, and once you get through that introductory manual, I mean, it's a well-designed board game, let me tell you. And in this checklist that comes with it, you're going to go down that checklist on the back. At the beginning of every legend, it tells you how to set it up, and then you start reading the cards in that legend, and it walks you through the story and walks you through the game. And that's different. I mean, generally you have a great big storybook you have to read in some of these games, which I don't like that stuff. This game is probably perfect for a guy like me. I just don't like a lot of reading in a board game, but this is okay because you have these legend cards and you just read them one at a time, and once it'll tell you move on to card number C1, you know, when you've completed that, and it walks you through the game like that. And I really enjoyed that about this game. The game goes out of the way to make it easy, I guess is the best way to put it. And even though it does that, it is hard to win. And you really have to think in this game, oh my gosh. But that makes it fun, folks, and that's what makes a good board game, is something that challenges you. And then also you have equipment board over here. And you can buy these helps. Once you go to a merchant space, you can buy like shields to go on your player board. You have a falcon that lets you transport goods, a bow. A hero with a bow can attack a creature from adjacent space if you're not the archer. This is nice. Has a helmet, and a helmet gives you identical dice values for the heroes. Add together when you're doing battle, and you can use those because you roll doubles. Now the monsters always get to use their doubles. You have to have the helmet in order to use the doubles. And then this telescope, which we needed badly, because when you're searching through fog tokens on the board, you want to do it as efficiently as you possibly can, and the telescope lets you look at adjacent spaces and flip over fog tokens. And then just a regular shield here that can be used to prevent the loss of a willpower or fend off a negative event card, because there's negative event cards in there, and I guarantee you every time you draw one you'll groan. Oh my gosh, are you serious? And then these wine bags give you extra movement, an extra space on the one side, and you flip it over and it looks like it's kind of depleted, and then you can use it one more time and it leaves your board. But so you get these little helps, and then there's magic potions and things like that. So yeah, get these little helps, and you're never going to feel like you're running away with this game, because you can't run away with this game. It's impossible. And if you feel like you are, then you don't use the green cards, and if you think that's not enough, then you can always move this letter N token down farther, so you can adjust the game's difficulty, and that's pretty nice when you can do that with a board game. Gosh, really nice board game. I don't know how long I'll keep it, because it's from setup, playtime, and back in the box, it's a minimum of 90 minutes. And that's a little bit outside of what we like. So I don't know.
It takes quite a bit to set it up.
Yeah, setup's quite a lot, and then playing, it will just drain you. And then putting it back in the box that time, it's going to be 90 minutes minimum, I think. And that's just a little bit longer than we like to play. I don't mind thinking hard, that's cool, and I like a lot of games. I have a lot of games where I think hard, but I like to do it in 60 minutes. So that we got other things to do. But I wanted to play this thing again, and the guy was selling it for 15 bucks. I told Lori, let's get it. We'll take it home and play through it again. We haven't done it in 5 years, and enjoy it. Because I tell you what, I don't remember anything hardly about the legends. Did you?
No.
I mean, these legends, there's 5 of them in here, and I guarantee you could play through these legends, and it would take you, what's that, 5 times 90 minutes? I mean, that's a lot of time in a board game. Put it back in the box, get it out in 2 months, you won't remember a thing. You know, especially if you're in the 60s like I am.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
That might just be us.
What's the name of this game? You know, Legends of Andorra, never heard of it.
That?
Yeah, so anyways, that was Legends of Andorra. Did I cover everything? I think that's everything. It's a wonderful production. The game design is stellar. I mean, this is an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. It's a great game. It's a little bit long for us. I don't know how long I'll keep it. I think we'll play through it probably and sell it for $15. Yeah. Moving on. But if you like that fantasy world, and you know, other games to consider are the new World of Warcraft with the pandemic style game that's out, and we also picked up another game, Ascension Tactics, that we have to play yet. That's a 2022 title. So yeah, I mean, there's other games out there that might be a little lighter than this. This is a beast. I think it's difficult. I think the game is tough to do well in, and you're going to lose in this game. If you never use the green cards in the Legends, you're going to lose probably, and then have to go back and replay it and say, oh yeah, we don't want to do that. We know what's coming here, so let's not do that. And that way you can win that legend after you've lost it once. But yeah, is that it? I guess that's it. That's Cosmos Legends of Andorra. And then, yeah, there's also these gemstones that are part of one of the tasks you have to complete. There's so much going on in this game, I can't even remember it all.
And these?
I told them about the creature cards.
Okay.
These creature tokens will go on the track here, and once you hit that space, once the narrator gets there, it's going to activate that creature token, and you're going to bring out creatures on the board. So there's all kinds of stuff going on in here, and most of it will make you wish you were doing something else, because it's pretty tough, man. But that's Legends of Andorra. Hope you're having a great day. I love every one of you. Okay, everybody, that was the games for today that we played this week, and I hope you enjoyed them, and I hope that you got something, a little more something out of them than doing just those top 10s or top 100 lists, because again, I'm able to show you more in that regard. Please like and subscribe. When you take the time to like our videos and then make a comment, that's our payday. We don't get paid for any of this until you guys tell us what you think of our video. And thank you so much for that. Have a great day, and I'll see you the next time on The Bones Collector. And remember to keep on board gaming, because it is the best doggone hobby on the planet. Bye-bye.